Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to NXT, and tonight we continue the NXT Breakout Tournament for the men's division and the women's side of things. As you got Johnny Gargano making his way down to the ring, he'll be taking on Original, the OG, El Grande Americano, and as you can tell, Candice LeRae coming out with her husband, Johnny Wrestling. Candice LeRae is that NXT Women's North American Champion. For Candice LeRae, for her certainly hoping that her husband can win this NXT Breakout Tournament and get back to the Johnny Gargano of old. Johnny Gargano, a former WWE champion, former WrestleMania main eventer. And obviously a lot of sights on him, with him and Tommaso Ciampa. But obviously when they came back, he got drafted to NXT and everything like that. Tommaso Ciampa, unfortunately for him, he said, hey, I'm done. I don't want to be here anymore. I'm going to go do my own thing, leaving Gargano and Candice LeRae here in NXT all by themselves. But it seems like they're taking it with stride. Candice LeRae, NXT Women's North American Champion. Gargano is looking to obviously add some championship gold in the near future. And there's El Grande Americano, the OG, the original El Grande Americano. Certainly we've barely seen him here in the series, but we'll see how he acts and how he feels here on NXT, and certainly the mannerisms of El Grande Americano. Certainly people have said that he has the same physique of a certain particular superstar, and same could be said of last week when we saw the newest version of El Grande Americano. But certainly we'll never know if we ever get to that part. But hey, this is a big time opportunity for El Grande Americano here tonight. Same with Johnny Gargano, who will advance to the semifinals of the NXT Breakout Tournament. Will it be that man Gargano, or will it be that man El Grande Americano? Referee rings the bell. Here we go, and Gargano coming right out of the gate with that big Hurricane Rana takedown. And for Gargano, he's a veteran in this business. El Grande Americano hasn't been around here too long, but he has that lucha libre background for El Grande Americano. So we'll see how he fares, though. I mean, it's going to be two different styles for sure, and we'll see who's going to be able to walk out and advance into the next round of that tournament. But certainly, like we have got going on, the NXT Breakout Tournament for the men's and women's does continue tonight, as well as tonight we have in your main event, it is a AAA showcase, a part of the NXT TNA partnership. AAA has been officially under the umbrella, you could say, of WWE, and AAA will now be a part of the WWE brand, and we'd love to welcome the AAA brand, and hopefully it won't be the same way that we're seeing for TNA right now in the terms of how they are treating NXT right now. And certainly if you didn't watch last week's episode, man, it was just brutal. AJ Styles, Cody Rhodes went at it in the main event after we already saw some shenanigans go down backstage, almost taking out Trick Williams. And obviously the Usos and the Dudley Boys going at it as Gargano from the top rope. And Mr. El Grande Americano trying to shush the crowd there. But we were scheduled to have a All Champions main event. It didn't turn out that way after the attacks. And come to find out, the Dudley Boys have been secretly signed to the TNA roster, which is absolutely massive, because obviously they have history there in TNA. And the Dudley Boys were dominating the tag team scene on Monday Night Raw, but they're officially moving on over to TNA. So we're going to have to really see how that's all going to pan out from now to whenever and wherever this thing decides to go down the road. But then, obviously, you had Cody Rhodes. Oh, wait, hold on. After that flying headbutt, is that enough? No. But we saw, Cody Rhodes defeat AJ Styles after AJ Styles was named. I guess he's not named, but he was the mystery opponent for Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes defeats AJ Styles. After the match, AJ Styles gives Cody Rhodes essentially his blessing, basically saying, hey, you know, you're doing great, is hold on, pinfall, I believe. No, he's not going to go for the pinfall. But that big maneuver from El Grande Americano. And wait just a minute. That's the Dudley Boys. Their music's playing. Oh no, TNA looking to make an impact early here on NXT. This is not good. A little bit of a distraction. Wait, that's Bubba Ray! Bubba Ray with a chair shot. Referee blind as hell. Not like this. Gargano, is he gonna try to get the pinfall? Not like this. One. Oh, thankfully, El Grande Americano kicks out. And then AJ Styles, he admitted that, hey, this is my last year. I'm going to try to make it to WrestleMania, as Johnny Gargano splatted himself, and so did El Grande Americano. But certainly there's a lot going on. And then the shocking betrayal of AJ Styles coming back in the ring, hitting him with a phenomenal forearm. And then obviously AJ Styles would whoop Cody Rhodes up and down this ring, outside of the ring. And it'd just be a whole ordeal, essentially. And come to find out, at NXT Great American Bash, we are going to have a triple threat matchup for the NXT Championship. It is going to be Cody Rhodes defending his championship against Kurt Angle and AJ Styles. Their purpose is to take away the NXT Championship. That's one way to do it, as Gargano's wife, Candice LeRae, getting involved as we get a roll through. Super kick flush on the face of El Grande Americano. Pinfall. 2. Ooh, wait, no, it's just a 1 count, but it should have been at least a 2 count there. But Candice LeRae coming into fruition in this matchup, helping out Johnny Wrestling at this moment. And, you know, losing AJ Styles to the TNA brand, losing the Dudley Boys to TNA as well. I mean, that's a lot of big names there. The Raw Tag Team Champions. AJ Styles has been struggling, though. So, I mean, he's on the later stages of his career, as the Gargano lock has been applied. El Grande Americano, can he survive this? He's fighting. He's trying. But no. Due to the help of Bubba Ray taking out El Grande Americano with a steel chair shot in the middle of this matchup, Johnny Gargano advances right there. That chair shot, referee didn't see it. And right here, you see Candice LeRae getting involved. Then you see that roll through, bam, super kick at the last second. He continued to fight, but when you got the Gargano lock, just like that, El Grande Americano cannot survive. And that means Johnny Wrestling is going to the semifinals next week here on NXT. And he'll face off with the winner of either Big E or Grayson Waller. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the women's side of the NXT Breakout Tournament. And now it's going to be Ivy Nile and Sol Ruca. Really looking forward to this matchup as well. Certainly the type of matchup you'd honestly would say maybe a very underrated match, because you don't know really what to expect. And that's I would say that's a good thing, because obviously, you know, a lot of matches you're like, oh crap, you know, you got so and so, and then, you know, someone that's been more established, you know, like, okay, hey, you know, they'll probably have the higher probability. But in this match, you got both women that are still looking to prove themselves. Ivy Nile right there. She is very small, but, you know, she makes up with her work ethic and how she wrestles in the middle of this ring, as well as then you got Sol Ruca, who's been in the tag team division with Zarya, and we'll see how she fares in singles action tonight. Last week here on NXT, we had Lola Vice defeating Zarya and JC Jane defeating Lyra Valkyria. We'll see what happens tonight, though. As we now wait for Sol Ruca, looking to soul snatch the soul of Ivy Nile tonight. Really looking forward to this matchup, though. Every matchup means something. Obviously, these women want to have that breakout moment, and that could very well be any of these women tonight. Obviously, Zarya is frustrated. She didn't perform too well against Lola Vice, but she is out here with her tag team partner, Sol Ruca, who is very talented as well. So, I mean, you know, right place, right time in these situations, and you're going to walk out with that NXT Breakout championship or championship opportunity, because the winner of this matchup, or obviously once you win the NXT Breakout Tournament, you're going to go on to Evolution and challenge for the Women's Championship. So absolutely massive. The finals for the NXT Women's Breakout Tournament will be live at NXT Great American Bash. Then the following night will be Evolution. The winner of that matchup will take on Blake Monroe for that Women's Championship. And both of these women's strategies are going to be very, very different going into this match, and especially with Ivy Nile having the Creed brothers at ringside, and then you got Zarya at ringside. I mean, hey, you never know what may happen. As the referee rings the bell, both these women kind of looking up and down with each other. Oh, we got a little sportsmanship. No, we don't. Forearm strike. Ivy Nile going to try to win at all costs. I thought for a moment, we're going to get some sportsmanship, but we're not going to get that. Ivy Nile is desperate. She believes that it's going to be her moment. And if she has to go through someone that's been around like Sol Ruca and Zarya, trying to build up some steam in the tag team division, and now looking to break out a part of this tournament, certainly Ivy Nile does not give two craps about that. Now Sol Ruca from behind, going to look for a back suplex maybe. No, face plant right there in the ground. And now Sol Ruca going to look to continue her efforts here. Oh, what a basement drop kick right to the skull there. And now Sol Ruca telling Ivy Nile to get up to her feet. Sol Ruca looking to go high risk, springboard, clothesline. She certainly got all of it. Is that going to be enough? Is that the knockout blow? No, it is not. Referee was right there in position. And obviously, you're going to see some different referees throughout each episode, and it's honestly great to see some of these referees, get those opportunities instead of always seeing the same referees. You get to see those referees step up to the plate and earn their opportunities as well. Is now Sol Ruca with another front slam, but Ivy Nile, the adrenaline just flowing through her body. A little bit faster, obviously, because she's a smaller competitor, but now she's fired up here. It'd be a shame for Ivy Nile. She started this match off, with the cheap shots early on, sending a message to Sol Ruca. Will that come back to haunt her? Will that just piss off Sol Ruca a little bit more? It's Sol Ruca looking to get that moonsault, but Ivy Nile got the knees up, but Sol Ruca missed anyway. So it's just one of those situations where you got to be able to come back in this matchup, or might not be able to come up after that devastating knee strike. It's a nice drop kick right to the middle of that back. Now Sol Ruca going to look to capitalize here. Has Ivy Nile in the corner. What does she have in store for the little one? As Ivy Nile with a big elbow reversal, going to try to keep herself in it. Obviously, Chad Gable has probably one of the most underrated tag teams in all of WWE with the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. Creed brothers are former tag team champions there on SmackDown, and will look to get back into the SmackDown, or I should say the NXT Tag Team Championships. They would love to get those around their waist. Is Zarya talking some trash here to Ivy Nile, and now Ruca looking to steal one here, maybe thanks to Zarya, but no, not even a one count. Still got a little bit more to do to try to put away. Oh, referee inadvertently put down. Was not on purpose. He just got caught in the crossfire. And now Sol Ruca, big back suplex, folds her in half. And this is the moment Sol Ruca wants right now. And now from the second rope, what is Sol Ruca thinking? Ivy Nile getting up to her feet, big boot there to the chest, into a flying crossbody, turns her inside out. And now going to the second rope one more time. Certainly sometimes going to the well one too many times may be costly. Oh, but again, this time around, Sol Ruca has been on fire in this matchup. And now Sol Ruca with a moonsault. What a beautiful moonsault, you got to say there. But only getting a one, that is absolutely craziness. And now Sol Ruca She feels like she's getting desperate. She doesn't know exactly what she wants to do. As, oh my goodness, she is pulling out all the stops, man. I don't even know what you want to call that. Highly effective, though, is Sol Ruca snatching the soul of Ivy Nile tonight, and that could be it. But wait a minute. Bayley? We got Bayley's music playing. What in the hell's going on here? That is the NXT. That's one half of the NXT Women's Champions here on NXT. Music playing, a little bit of a music distraction. I'm curious where that's going to go. Sol Ruca had this match won with that Soul Snatcher, but it gives Ivy Nile a little bit of time to get back in it, and she may tap out Sol Ruca here in the middle of the ring, nowhere to go. But Ruca, oh my goodness, look at these knees, those long legs of Sol Ruca. It'd be a damn shame if Sol Ruca ends up losing this matchup via a distraction to Bayley. That'd be a damn shame. And now Sol Ruca, wait a minute, Moonsault connects. Almost overshot it as well. And now you got Julius talking some trash here, trying to distract her as much as possible here to keep Ivy Nile in this matchup. That submission hold was almost enough to maybe put down Sol Ruca, I believe. As now Ruca, a little frustration brewing with her because she thought she had the matchup won. And then the Creed brothers are keeping Ivy Nile in this matchup as well. Uh-oh, Ivy Nile, Ivy Nile. Oh my goodness, what a frog splash to the outside. Seemed like she was up there in the air a very long time there. Now Ivy Nile from behind. Uh-oh, she's thinking about a torture rack maybe? Has her on the shoulders. Almost like a torture rack right here, different variation of it. She's not getting much power out of it, but it feels like it might be enough to really work on that hip there. Oh, these big punches from Sol Ruca, able to slip out of it. Some damage was done to that lower back, though. And a face buster there from Sol Ruca. Still to come tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Coming up after this match, actually, it's Bayley and Kalani Jordan. So certainly some mind games being played in the favor of the NXT Women's Tournament tonight, in this Breakout Tournament, I should say. As well as later on tonight, Big E takes on Grayson Waller. I'm really looking forward to that matchup to see how Big E will be faring in that matchup. Plus, we got a AAA showcase. We got some superstars making their debut in the main event here of NXT. Really looking forward to that. Got Psycho Clown, Mr. Iguana, as well as Elio Del Vikingo. And I do apologize if I do mispronounce his name. It's going to take me some time to say his name, as I'm not too familiar with him, but I will do my best to make sure I get that underway. Is Ivy Nile, pinfall opportunity. Is she able to get it? Yes, she does. Ivy Nile. And I hate to say this, you can give the victory, to the help of Bayley. Sol Ruca had this matchup won with that Soul Snatcher. Bayley gets involved, at least a distraction, and that means now Ivy Nile able to fight in this matchup, gave her a little bit more time, and was able to walk out victorious. And that now means she will be heading to the semifinals, and next week Ivy Nile will either be facing off with Bayley or Kalani Jordan. If you're Sol Ruca, that's just going to be so demoralizing, ladies and gentlemen, just to lose like that. I mean, you had the matchup won, and then a women's breakout tournament person in the part of the tournament distracts you, and then you end up losing. I mean, obviously, she had chances maybe to win the matchup still, but man, just that distraction really hurt her chances tonight. But now it's a big time matchup here, and Sol Ruca can now do the same thing to obviously to Bayley here. And last week, Lyra Valkyria, she was in the matchup. She lost to JC Jane, so we'll see if Bayley can be a part of it, unlike Lyra Valkyria. But Kalani Jordan, you know, she She had some big time moments in 2025, especially a part of that NXT deadline matchup. And it came down to her and Julia at the very end, and Julia just was way too much for her, unfortunately. But hey, 2026 could be the year of Kalani Jordan if she can figure some stuff out. And hey, what better way to do that than with knocking off Bayley tonight, who is one half of the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions. Obviously, Lyra a little bit disappointed, but hey, she's out here with Bayley. We just witnessed another tag team not be able to have both of their competitors a part of this tournament. So, but Bayley's a whole different situation. She's a veteran in this business. She's accomplished a lot in this business, from women's championships to women's world championships to being on top of her game. So, you know, Bayley, this is going to be a great test for Kalani Jordan. But I think Kalani can do it. The matchup is official here. Both of these women feeling it out here. Bayley fired up. Kalani Jordan just waiting for her moment and connects with a Hurricane Rana. And then just look at these big fists to the face there of Bayley. Oh, that super kick did quite a bit of damage to Bayley, but also it seemed like Kalani kicked her so hard that, you know, she was kind of out of, like, she was kind of surprised that it got some whiplashes. Oh, a throat chop right there, and now Kalani, over springboarding there in that situation. And now Bayley will look to make her pay. Oh goodness, double chops there, and again with the head. But I think with Kalani Jordan's hair that she has, I think it might be helping out the blow to the head. I'm not saying it doesn't still hurt, but I think with that head of hair that she has, certainly that is going to hurt. And talking about hurting, that punt to the side of the face, man, that could be the knockout blow. That is almost equivalent, maybe not equivalent, but I'll compare it to Randy Orton's punt kick. We've not seen that in a long time, but Randy Orton can pull those out, and man, does it ever destroy that opponent. Now Bayley continuing her work here. She wants to advance to the NXT Breakout semifinals next week here, where if she won tonight, she would be going on to face Ivy Nile. With anything, and with these matches, ladies and gentlemen, it seems like everything's very unpredictable. You don't know what to expect. You have superstars coming out of nowhere from NXT, from TNA, just distraction after distraction, and some of these superstars have been able to capitalize. Like tonight, obviously, when we've had the Johnny Gargano El Grande Americano match. Bubba Dudley from TNA now, former Raw Tag Team Champion, coming out here hitting him with a steel chair, and then eventually that would kind of eat up at El Grande Americano, and Gargano walks out with a win tonight. As now, Kalani Jordan, high risk, high reward, as she points towards the crowd, as she waits for Bayley to get up to her feet, and oh my goodness, I believe it's almost like I don't want to say close to a corkscrew, spinning in the air, and just enough to take out Bayley, and now she's continuing to assault, but Bayley, using the fans' adrenaline, essentially cheering for her to get up to her feet, Bayley is able to get up and execute a power maneuver. And certainly, like we said, Bayley, one of the best to ever do it here in Universe mode. And certainly her being in NXT, she doesn't take that as a downgrade. She's helping Lyra Valkyria grow as a big super kick there from Kalani Jordan. And Bayley, you know, it allows her to face off with not only the current day talent, but also the future talent of this business. So certainly being able to do both, obviously I think for her, she enjoys that, because you get to, it keeps yourself fresh instead of always having the same opponents. Oh, nice pump up Hurricane Rana there, takes down Bayley, and Kalani Jordan right where she wants her right now. And like we said, this would be one of the biggest wins of Kalani Jordan's career, probably of her whole entire career, because Bayley, like we said, she has accomplished so much here. But Bayley's not going to be someone to easily put down. It's very rare to be able to run through Bayley. There's a snapmare takedown off the ropes here. Oh, going for the cross body. Bayley moves out the way, and now the role model going to look to put down Kalani. She certainly does with that spear. Bailey all fired up here, and now stomping a mud hole right in the chest area of Kalani Jordan. If I'm Solruka or Zarya, this would be the perfect time to try to get yourself in this matchup as a moonsault from the top rope. Nice maneuver from Kalani Jordan taking down Bailey. Is this the moment Kalani Jordan wants? Can she knock off Bailey here? But Bailey fighting back. But so is Kalani Jordan. Who wants it the most? Who's facing off with Ivy Nile next week in the semifinals? We can only have one. As, oh goodness, right off that top rope. Let's see what Kalani can do here. Just slowly dissecting Bailey here. But Bailey playing a little bit of possum here. Trying to keep herself in this matchup as long as possible. And now look at that. Back and forth we go. That's what you love to have about these matches. They keep you on your toes here. You just don't know what to expect. As Kalani Jordan in a bad way. Oh, the double knees right to the ribs. Bailey using her environment to her advantage. And now Bailey looking to put the final touches of this match away here. As they're in the corner, what dastardly things may Bailey think about? Certainly not the strongest thing you could do to Kalani Jordan, but hey, working the legs. Obviously, if you don't know, Kalani Jordan, a gymnastic superstar from Michigan State University. So certainly having her in these situations, blocking anything like that will help you out. Is now Kalani trying to decide what she wants to do. Taking her sweet time. Bailey stirring up to her feet though. Here comes Kalani into the corner. Oh, that was a brutal forearm strike. And then Kalani, split-legged moonsault. Is that enough to knock off Bailey? 2, 3 it is. What a win for Kalani Jordan. What a way for her to start off her 2026. Kalani Jordan is going to the semifinals, and she is taking on Ivy Nile next week in the semifinals of the Women's NXT Breakout Tournament. What a win. What a hard-fought win tonight for Kalani Jordan, ladies and gentlemen. Big, big win tonight. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we move on to the Men's Breakout Tournament. We get to Big E versus Grayson Waller. Will we feel the Grayson Waller effect tonight here on NXT, ladies and gentlemen? Grayson Waller, certainly for him, at NXT Stand and Deliver, he had an ambulance match, I believe it was a 2 out of 3 falls match, pardon me, with Austin Theory. He beat Austin Theory with 2 falls right away, back-to-back falls, defeating Austin Theory in that 2 out of 3 falls matchup. And you would have thought with that moment, Grayson Waller would have started the climb. And you would have thought GMs would have picked Grayson Waller higher up. But then, come to find out, Austin Theory is one of the superstars that is picked for Seth Rollins' vision on Monday Night Raw with the likes of Logan Paul, Bronson Reed, Braun Breaker, the Oracle Paul Heyman, Becky Lynch. No Grayson Waller. So Grayson Waller is kind of putting that rock in a hard place for these GMs. And at the time, the NXT general manager, or I should say now William Regal, he gets Grayson Waller. So it's a whole different experience for Grayson Waller. He had Adam Pearce. Now he has William Regal, the general manager here on NXT now. So for Big E here, or I should say for Grayson Waller, it's going to be a whole different experience. And now he's going to have to take on the big man, Big E. A man that has wanted to hold championship gold. He's been a tag team champ. He's been one of the longest, if not the longest, intercontinental champion here in series history. Big E wants to hold championship gold. He wants to hold a world title. So if that's the NXT championship, if it's the WWE championship, the Undisputed championship, whatever it may be, this may be the start of what Big E finally gets to. Referee rings the bell, and here we go. 2 different styles going at it. As Waller trying to go for a forearm strike, Big E saw that coming. Now the Aussie going to look to go to work here on Big E. Slowly but surely, just working that. Big E didn't take that too kindly. And obviously the referee doesn't like that cheap shot. It is a cheap shot, unfortunately. Any way you look at it, as Big E feeling that temper. Grayson Waller is trying to do everything to get under the skin of Big E, and Grayson Waller got his own cheap shot back as well there. Coming up here next, before we get to the AAA showcase tonight, ladies and gentlemen, that will be featuring Mr. Iguana, Psycho Clown, as well as El Hijo del Vikingo. I do once again apologize if I butchered that name. But before we get to that showcase matchup tonight, we are going to be hearing from the NXT Women's Champion, Blake Monroe, about the challengers as in the NXT Breakout Tournament that are left, the 4 women that are left. But she's going to be here tonight to not only address them, but to just address the NXT Women's roster in general. So I cannot wait to see Blake Monroe here tonight. And also can't wait to see the triple threat match later on tonight as well. In the main event is look at Big E looking to fly. But Grayson Waller, he's like, nope, not going to allow that to happen. And for, Grayson Waller, if he can use that win at NXT Stand and Deliver as motivation, and then also him not being drafted higher than Austin Theory, who obviously Austin Theory, I talked about it a little bit ago, being drafted to the Vision and everything. Waller probably thinks like he should be in Theory's position. Theory shouldn't be with the Vision. Waller probably believes it should be him. So, Waller, he could use this tournament, this breakout tournament, to get what he wants. And obviously, he could go on, win this tournament, and then he could be the one facing off with, as of right now, it being Cody Rhodes. So, I mean, it's just, with these tournaments, ladies and gentlemen, it's just being able to use that breakout, especially if you're not being used much, you got to seize the opportunity. You got to be the ultimate opportunist in these situations. And obviously, Big E, he's certainly dealing with the New Day. I guarantee that's probably not over and done with. So, I mean, you just never know how exactly everything's going to pan out here. Back in the ring we go. And for Big E and Grayson Waller, whoever wins tonight goes on to take on Johnny Gargano next week in the semifinals. So we're gonna have pivotal matches next week here on NXT to really determine, and really figure out what that foggy picture looks like, and seeing who's going after who. With a nice flying shoulder tackle from Big E. The big man still got it. Uh-oh, the big man, he's moving, and it's a big splash there right on the ribs of Grayson Waller, and he's looking to get the strap down, but wait a minute. Wait, this is the Wyatt 6. It's the Wyatt 6 music, ladies and gentlemen. Who in the hell? There's another distraction here tonight. Just full of distractions. That's Dexter Lumis. Dexter Lumis trying to get involved here, but Big E with a belly-to-belly connecting to Dexter Lumis, and the Wyatt 6 distraction or whatever that was supposed to be didn't work out in their favor, and now Waller gets himself an opportunity, a chance to really flip this match around, because Big E, who was taking the straps down, it really looked like maybe he was going to try to end this matchup. But luckily for Waller, he gets saved by the Wyatt 6. That's another, big solid kick to the face. We saw that outside there at ringside a little bit ago. And Waller looking to inflict some damage here. Oh, goodness. Look at these forearms to the back of the neck. Those very well could be knockout blows. And Big E has neck issues, ladies and gentlemen, so certainly that is something to keep an eye out on. And come on. Grayson Waller just choking the life out of Big E here. Referee just standing there. Obviously, if she counts, it'd be up to a 5 count before you get disqualified. But still, you can't just let him do it without, not saying something about it. As Big E was looking possibly for that big ending, and Grayson Waller's like, not today. And now Waller walking the ropes here. Oh, through the legs, elbow drop misses. And now Big E will look to capitalize. But no, Waller a little bit faster in this exchange, surprisingly, and a stunner out of nowhere. The roll through stunner. Are we going to see a massive win here? Yes, we do. Massive win for Grayson Waller. And Waller even got some distraction help tonight with the Wyatt Six getting involved. There's a lot of distractions tonight and stuff that obviously isn't planned out. These rosters have a mind of their own at sometimes. But hey, you can't always blame it. Sometimes you gotta face it. But Grayson Waller does get his win. He'll face off with Johnny Gargano next week here. But up next, we hear from Blake Monroe. And here she is, ladies and gentlemen, Blake Monroe. She is in the building. First appearance for Blake Monroe after winning the NXT Women's Championship over Roxanne Perez. And certainly, I'm very interested to see where this is going to take Blake Monroe. Certainly 2025, she looked pretty good for the most part, and now she's taking that 2026 into stride with that NXT Women's Championship. And not only that, she's going to be addressing the NXT Universe about obviously this NXT Women's Breakout Tournament with the 4 women that are left, and then obviously having to defend that NXT Women's Championship at Evolution against one of these women. So certainly one hell of a night coming our way. Glamour is here, and I am your new NXT Women's Champion. Knocking off Roxanne. It was one hell of a match. I got my payback. And now I lay on top of the NXT mountain as your NXT Women's Champion. But just because I won and now I'm the NXT Women's Champion, it doesn't mean that I stop here. I have to continue to fight to stay on top of this mountain. And currently there's 4 women left that are looking to win this NXT Women's Breakout Tournament, then to go on to Evolution and face me for this Women's Championship. And being the NXT Women's Champion, it doesn't mean I get to sit back and pick my challengers. It means I fight whoever earns it. And right now, 4 women are fighting like hell in that Breakout Tournament for a shot at this title at Evolution, and I've been watching every second of it. JC Jane, you've got an attitude. You got confidence, and you're not afraid to bend the rules. You run your mouth a lot, but lately, you've been backing it up. Lola Vice, you bring the fight, that intensity, and also every time you step in the ring, it feels like less like a match and more like a war. Ivy Nile, pound for pound, one of the strongest women in this division. No shortcuts, no excuses, just pure dominance. And Kalani Jordan, maybe the most unpredictable of all. You got heart, athleticism, and something to prove every time you step out here. Any one of you could stand across from me at Evolution, and I'm not going to lie, that's exactly how it should be. Because this division, it's not about hype, it's not about who talks the loudest, it's about who shows up when the lights are the brightest. So whoever wins that tournament, whoever earns that moment, just know this. You're not stepping in the ring with someone who's happy to be champion. You're stepping in there with someone who fought to get here and who's ready to fight even harder to stay here. Evolution isn't just your opportunity, it's your test. And I promise you, when that bell rings, you're going to find out exactly why I'm the NXT Women's Champion. And now, ladies and gentlemen, we get to the AAA showcase here live tonight. And oh, look who we got here. Mr. Iguana making his debut here in Universe Mode. As you can tell, this guy is kind of out there of sorts. But obviously, he's made it here to WWE, part of this AAA partnership being under the umbrella. WWE is now with AAA. And it adds a lot of talent there. And obviously that Lucha Libre style, obviously WWE has so many Lucha superstars here in WWE. Adding some more, it only makes it even more chaotic, I would say, in a good way, because obviously you got ones on the main roster, Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, and then you had AAA as a whole. I mean, there's so many potential great matches we could see down the line. But now tonight we get a little taste of what AAA is going to be bringing us. And don't you guys worry, we'll also be seeing AAA's arenas throughout the shows as well. And here comes Psycho Clown. And a lot of these superstars, ladies and gentlemen, for the most part, I don't know what they all bring to the ring, just based off their looks and everything, but certainly they have their entertainment style, and certainly that's what WWE loves to have, these characters, these entertainers, and certainly these guys that love professional wrestling, and having a guy like Psycho Clown, certainly another man that is out there, but another man that I'm going to have to take some time to learn about as well. Being here part of this NXT venue, I think this is a great way to introduce the AAA superstars to this NXT universe, to everyone at home, before we start adventuring out to the AAA arenas and everything. So certainly a big time situation here with everyone involved. We would love to welcome AAA and all of their superstars, and throughout the time I'm sure we'll definitely figure out who is all part of the AAA rosters, but certainly we're going to see 3 of them here tonight live on NXT, and especially being able to main event an NXT show, that's an absolutely massive thing to do. As now here comes El Hijo del Vikingo, a man that a lot of men and women, they have certainly their choice words for this young man. Certainly believe this was one of the top lucha libre superstars in all of professional wrestling. And like I said, another man I don't know too much about, but a man that has been very hyped up here. And certainly a lot to live up to, but certainly with these guys being a part of this matchup here, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's going to add a lot. And like we said, we're going to be able to kind of get to know them together and how they're going to be fighting tonight. And I can't wait to see how, especially with NXT being involved, TNA, and also AAA, 3 brands under kind of one head of it. I mean, so much chaoticness is already seen in this partnership with NXT and TNA. Adding AAA under the roof of WWE now, and it only can get more chaotic from here. As there he is, Mr. Vikingo. He is here and looking to make a statement here tonight, live on NXT, part of this being under the new ownership of sorts with WWE. As here we go, Mr. Iguana. We've got Psycho Clown and El Hijo del Vikingo. Referee rings the bell. Here we go. And you got Psycho Clown with a Mexican Destroyer. Oh, I feel bad for Mr. Iguana getting dropped on his head the very first move you face off with. And then you got a Trouble in Paradise from Mr. Vikingo. And all sorts of stuff is going down here early, live tonight, here in NXT. It's now Vikingo setting up Iguana. Iguana in a bad position here early. Psycho Clown looking to get extreme here. Oh my goodness, what a maneuver. But he gets hit with a super kick, not a click, sorry. But all hell is breaking loose in this matchup. And as you can already tell, this matchup is all over the place already, just in the terms of, how fast these Lucha Libre superstars are. Especially Vikingo, Psycho Clown, Mr. Iguana, different types of entertainment style. Looked like he was trying to get extreme there, but Vikingo not going to allow that. And obviously, if he... Oh, wait a minute. I'm going to slap his chest here. Oh, goodness. Right in the middle of it. And now I'm going to go for the pinfall. Looking to steal a victory here. But Mr. Iguana breaks it up. Looking for a scoop slam. That didn't work out in his favor. But, it's a damn shame, that we don't have more AAA superstars for you tonight, but I love that what we're getting a taste of here tonight. Strong kick out there from Clown. Vikingo was looking to get a sledgehammer involved, but obviously with the pinfall, he had to hurry up and get back inside. Uh-oh, got a kendo stick. This could be bad. Luckily for Vikingo, was able to get out of it and able to hit it with a jump. Oh my goodness! I don't even know what you want to call that. That's a trouble in paradise. But man, some of these maneuvers from some of these guys, holy moly. And now, looking for that back springboard maneuver, did not work out in his favor. And now Psycho Clown with a nice suplex takes down Vikingo. No, Mr. Iguana now going to go with a high-risk maneuver. Uh-oh. Look at the... Oh, my goodness, a Frankensteiner from El Hijo Vikingo. I'm just going to call him Vikingo at this moment because he does have a longer name, but still, the maneuvers this young man is pulling out, man, this guy's been absolutely on fire. Look at Mr. Iguana feeling pretty confident about himself early on here. He's back and forth with Vikingo and the Clown. Go for a back suplex. Down goes Iguana. Looks like he's going for a Hurricane Rana. Vikingo was just way too far. And obviously, Psycho Clown just probably may not know where he's at this moment. And nice enseguri right in the corner. But again, you got to watch out right behind you as there is Mr. Iguana. Now I'm going to go for the pinfall, but still too early yet here. A big punch there. Uh-oh. Oh, big kick to the midsection. As this matchup continues, ladies and gentlemen, this is your main event of the evening. As, oh, Mr. Iguana punched in the face there. That's a knockout blow, but Psycho Clown isn't done as he hits the slam right on the kendo stick. That might be the killer shot that he needs to put him away with. But no, 2.5. But like I was going to try to say, coming up next here, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to be hearing from the NXT General Manager, William Regal, on what exactly happened last week here to end NXT before obviously the whole matchup got diluted with obviously all sorts of stuff just breaking down with Omos attacking Trick Williams and obviously oh look at that maneuver, but he's too far away. Psycho Clown just wasn't able to connect with that maneuver. But obviously the Dudley Boys attacking the Usos, Omos attacking Trick Williams. And obviously, with everything that happened to Cody Rhodes and everything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that William Regal will be here to address, plus whatever else he may want to address. But a lot is already on his plate after being traded from Monday Night Raw to NXT. Got ourselves a general manager trade there. Vikingo pointing it right at both men, telling them to choke. It's a big kick there. And now Iguana, look at this high risk. Hurricane on the outside. What a maneuver. Now Iguana still. Oh my goodness, he drops him on his head and neck area. When you look at Mr. Iguana, he may not look that fast, but this man is very, very dangerous. And maybe more dangerous to himself as he was looking to hit that cross body. And now Vikingo. Oh, goodness. A slam there. But man, just when you think you get an upper hand, another superstar just comes from behind and able to connect with a maneuver. But looking at all three of these gentlemen, these superstars, they are just putting on a lucha libre clinic right now. And this is what you love to see. Little showcase of what is going to be happening here in the coming weeks, months, maybe years, depending on what everything goes on here. But you got NXT, TNA, AAA, all under one roof, ladies and gentlemen. That is a lot of talent. As a Frankensteiner folds him in half. And now Vikingo roll through takedown there of Iguana. And now into the steel steps. That never feels good. Now we're going to have Clown and Vikingo go at it and just, oh goodness. Going to ruin our LED display here. Vikingo looking impressive. So does Clown. So does Iguana. Man, just an absolutely great night of professional wrestling and lucha libre style here. The one thing we do need to figure out sometime, ladies and gentlemen, is obviously for Raw, NXT, and SmackDown, we all know who the general managers are. But there is one thing that, wait a minute, Iguana Oh, what a face buster. I thought maybe he was thinking about another Frankensteiner. But the thing we're going to have to definitely find out is the general managers. I mean, who is the TNA general manager? And then, same for AAA. Does AAA have certainly a manager of sorts down there? Certainly a lot is a backstabber there from Iguana to Vikingo. And now, Psycho Clown. Surprised he didn't hit him with the chair shot. He took way too much time. And now Iguana will look to capitalize and will look to bring the fight to Vikingo. And now brings the fight to Mr. Psycho Clown. Into the pinfall. Is that enough to walk out victorious? Yes, it is. Vikingo still trying to figure out his bearings. Mr. Iguana walks out with the win in the main event. What a matchup. Like I said moments ago, just a matchup that puts AAA on the map on one of the biggest stages here in Universe Mode. And that showing for all three superstars tonight. I mean, that is going to be absolutely massive. It adds so much talent here in NXT. And certainly with everything going on with the NXT Breakout Tournament and NXT and TNA kind of going back and forth as well. I mean, adding AAA only adds more seasoning into the pot of things to expect here live here on NXT. And we'll also definitely be going for sure to AAA eventually. But what a matchup live tonight. Mr. Iguana, he earned it tonight. And certainly his actual Iguana as well. But ladies and gentlemen, just in a matter of moments, we are going to be hearing from William Regal, your NXT General Manager. And what a show, ladies and gentlemen, it has been from top to bottom, from the NXT Breakout Tournament. We know what the semifinals looks like. And also, we just got the AAA showcase of what that looks like. And William Regal now is out here to address the whole situation that we saw that ruined the All-Star Champions main event that we were scheduled to see. He's going to address that. Cody Rhodes going to address TNA probably. AAA. There's so much William Regal may have to address here. And certainly, especially the NXT Great American Bash, you got one NXT superstar against two TNA talent for the NXT Championship. There's so much going on here, ladies and gentlemen, for us to dissect. And now we, ladies and gentlemen, are going to send it down to the ring to William Regal. And, oh, hold on just a minute. Well, certainly a superstar we've been looking to make his return here to NXT, and he is here, Kevin Owens. One of the superstars that got drafted over here to NXT. Kevin Owens' first appearance here in NXT ever since he got drafted. So now, ladies and gentlemen, the question is for Kevin Owens, what are Kevin Owens' intentions of being out here? Certainly we know Kevin Owens, the prize fighter, certainly had the help of The Rock there for the longest time. So, he sold his soul to The Rock as well, one of those superstars to get ahead, to get out there. So for Kevin Owens interrupting William Regal, is this to? I'm just speechless. I don't know why Kevin Owens is out here, and we're about to find out though. Look, Kevin, I respect everything that you've done in your career, the good and bad. You're one hell of a superstar, but I wasn't really expecting you out here. I'm here to address a lot of different things going on out here, a lot of it being with TNA, AAA, so many things I got to address tonight, and now I got to address you quickly. So what do you want, Kevin? Good to see you too, Regal. Now, the reason why I'm out here is one of many things, but one of the major things is when Cody goes down, you guys don't have guys to step up to the plate. The Usos got attacked. Trick Williams got attacked. Cody Rhodes got taken out. That you really don't have anyone to help you out. You're in a identity crisis here on NXT. And look, There's plenty of major talent back there that you could say maybe could help you out, but there's no one like Kevin Owens. And yes, did I sell my soul to The Rock year and a half ago? Yes, because I wanted to get my title shots. I wanted my opportunities that I was not getting. But even so, when I sold my soul, I wasn't really getting much of anywhere with it. What I'm saying here, Regal, is I'm here to help. I know AJ like the back of my hand. I know Kurt Angle, I know RVD, I know Abyss, and wherever else these little scumbags have these other guys holding out at. So let me help you. Kevin, I appreciate the offer, but knowing you for as long as I have, there's always an ulterior motive. There isn't just one reason why you're out here. So I do appreciate the help. Yes, I need as much help that I can get at the moment, but what's the one of the major reasons you're out here? Can't be just what wanting to help me out. I mean, now that you mention it, there's many things that I would love to have, but one of the things would be taking on Cody Rhodes in that NXT Championship. You need a number one contender. Yes, you have the NXT Breakout Tournament going on, but the guy who wins that matchup isn't going to beat Cody Rhodes. So why don't you give me a match for that NXT Championship against Cody Rhodes? And yes, before you already say, yes, I already know Cody Rhodes has a matchup against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle in a triple threat matchup. But whatever happens there, I want next. I want that NXT Championship. I want to be the main guy here in NXT. Cody Rhodes has had plenty of opportunities ever since he's joined. Why not Kevin Owens? I believe the four other superstars that are left in total with these semifinals matches with the likes of Uncle Howdy and Ricky Saints and Grayson Waller and Johnny Gargano, I think all of those superstars would gladly disagree with you in saying that, hey, they should be the next in line for that championship depending on whoever wins the NXT Breakout Tournament. Kevin, I'll tell you this. If you can help NXT take down TNA, I will gladly give you an NXT Championship shot against whoever that may be. Cody Rhodes, AJ Styles, or Kurt Angle. Hopefully it's not Styles or Angle, but it may be what it is. So yes, I will give you one, but you may just have to wait a little bit of time. If I have to show you, Regal, that you can trust me and I'll be on the front lines fighting for NXT, I will gladly do it. Now, it's going to take us a little bit of time to take down Styles and that TNA crew, but we'll get the job done. Now, with Kevin Owens gone, ladies and gentlemen, I will have to admit, I do have to agree with Kevin Owens. I do need as many guys as possible. Kevin Owens certainly is a man that his trust certainly is going to take some time to get there, but with Cody getting taken out, Trick Williams, the Usos, certainly a lot of guys being taken out. I need anyone here in NXT to help out. And I have to be honest with you guys, I'm not the one that made that match official for Cody Rhodes' NXT Championship between AJ Styles and Kurt Angle live there for NXT Great American Bash. That was another power. That was the final boss, The Rock. I had no intentions of making that match, but The Rock decided to make that match official. Now to address Cody Rhodes. Certainly for Cody Rhodes, I mean, he went through absolute hell. Obviously he beat AJ Styles. It was a tough match for him. Beat him quite handedly. And then to trust AJ Styles, the retirement thing, which was true, but then for AJ Styles to attack Cody Rhodes the way he did was very unacceptable. And the thing about it is, I can't punish AJ Styles because he is officially on TNA, as well as the gentleman that attacked my NXT Tag Team Champions, the Usos. The Dudley Boys have been secretly signed over to NXT, or from NXT to already TNA for a good while. With all this being said, ladies and gentlemen, I do have matches confirmed for NXT Great American Bash. So Cody Rhodes will defend his NXT Championship per the orders of The Rock against AJ Styles and Kurt Angle. Also, Trick Williams looks to get his hands on Omos, as Trick Williams will defend his North American Championship against Omos, as well as the Usos will be defending their NXT Tag Team Championships against the Dudley Boys, as well as also the NXT Breakout Tournament matches. We're going to have both of those matches happening live there at the NXT Great American Bash. The finals will be happening there. And for the women's side of things, the winner of that breakout match will go on the next night at Evolution and challenge Blake Monroe for the NXT Women's Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, we have plenty of time to build up to the Great American Bash plus Evolution, so plenty of exciting times ahead here, live here on NXT. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to watching this NXT Breakout Tournament, plus the engagement of the AAA. And also, I do have a quick announcement regarding AAA as well. Regarding that NXT announcement for AAA, ladies and gentlemen, for AAA, they are going to be live on our programming next week here, as we're going to be going over to the AAA arena to see who the AAA general manager is. I'm excited about it. I'm looking forward to seeing who that's going to be, and I think all of you guys at home may be very excited on who that may be as well.